He's not a bat, he's a man who fights crime. And we're gonna watch him fight for a minute at a time. With John and Niall and a guest who doesn't rhyme. It's Bat Minute!
Greetings, citizens of Gotham, and welcome once again to Bat Minute Forever, the show that blasts through Joel Schumacher's Batman Forever 1 minute at a time. I am your very, very ill host, John Parker.
And I was also going to do something with the blast him line, because there's nothing you can really do with the open sesame line, but I'm the co-host, Niall McGowan.
Hello, you're not ill.
No, I am peak physical performance.
As always, you're a beast of a man. But we are joined by a very, very special guest we have from previous seasons, voice actor and singer-songwriter Bryarly Bishop.
Hello, it's me, lying somewhere between healthy and unwell.
Yeah.
Just bridging the gap between the hosts.
We've got the whole spectrum of health.
More bars, more places.
Yes.
This is minute 7, and the minute starts with intense staring, and it ends with the spin kick of doom. Exciting stuff.
Should say, though, again, straight off the bat, because, eagle-eared listeners might remember Bryarly from previous seasons, because one of the guests who comes on who not familiar with the films prior to viewing and prior to recording.
It's all confusion.
Can we assume it's the same with Batman Forever?
You're 100% correct.
So I have to ask, out of burning curiosity, like as a adult woman in her mid-20s in 2019, what was your first impression of Batman Forever coming straight after Batman Returns?
The party train just keeps going, doesn't it?
That's probably the best way to put it.
People are going to be interpreting that statement whatever way they want, I think.
That's the beauty of what you said. It can be taken any way, from any angle.
Like, seagulls will follow the trawler, no matter.
Diplomacy.
It could be positive, it could be negative.
Oh boy. Yep. Just the colors are just a whole choice. And
yes. To be honest, everything in this movie is an interesting decision, good or bad. It's certainly very different.
There's a certain, so when you see something that you're sort of like surprised, confused by, and it's enjoyable, but there's also a lot of questions, and your mouth just sort of hangs open about 25%. But it's like at an angle because you're sort of smiling.
Yep. That is my experience.
That was my experience. Yeah. Was just
I'm assuming you noticed that there was a somewhat of a shift in tone. At least, anyway.
Yes. They do. Yep. Oh boy.
Well, we are at the start of the minute here. We're back at the top of the tower as the elevator containing Batman is about to open. So Two-Face commands his goons to open fire and blast him.
Yeah, and as a running commentary, I keep bringing up, because I've seen this so many times in VHS when I was a kid, and I know from watching it so many times, then watching it now, years later, the uncut version, I can spot every line that was cut. And blast him, also not in the original video release.
That's ridiculous.
And there's another one this week as well. It's just like they seem to be really picking on Two-Face for whatever reason. It's like, in terms of censorship, it's like, get rid of most of him if you can.
That sucks.
Maybe the editor just had personal vendetta against Tommy Lee Jones.
Well, he is a very grumpy man in real life, from what I understand. So
yeah, he reminds me of my dad. The exact same personality, like a Red Foreman.
Yeah, I'm hoping you mean like Tommy Lee Jones in real life, not Two-Face Tommy Lee Jones, because that would be like
both. My dad has a purple face. Although that's probably the whiskey. But why, I brought this up last week, I'm going to bring it up again, right? Why do they think Batman is in the elevator? Like, I know he is, right?
But how are
But
they
why
aware?
would he?
What year was this made?
95.
95.
Yeah, so elevator cameras weren't like a thing too much, were they?
I wouldn't think so.
No, right?
Oh.
And like, he's obviously hiding
Uh-huh.
in the elevator, as we discover in a minute.
Bats being famously good for that, yeah. Like I'm
That's
just no, I didn't. It sounded sarcastic when I said it. I think it's just that's not how I meant it. I more meant like of all the things for Batman to successfully do, you'd think that he could just hide in a small dark place.
Yeah. And on top of that, what else does Batman do? He sneaks around.
Yeah,
So why on earth is he coming up in the elevator, and why do they fall for it?
yeah.
Like, he is in there. That's what's baffling to me. He should sneak up on them from behind.
This is really, it's really Batman 101. Is like, of course he's not going to just be standing in the elevator. Of course he's going to be hiding on top of it. Because it's Batman. You think at this point they would be like shooting the roof above it. But like, well, he's
Yeah,
obviously not
something.
there.
Right, yeah. Exactly.
But cause even like that's a thing if you play like the Arkham games, that's a choice you can make of as when you're in the elevator. It's like, I guess I'm going to hide on top of the elevator because that's what Batman would do.
One thing I do really like about them attacking Batman here, though, or attempting to, is these guns.
Oh yeah, yeah.
These guns are insane with the neon red magazines and stuff.
I think it's supposed to be half like a yin and yang design, I think, but it also kind of looks like a crudely drawn version of the Star Child from the end of 2001.
Oh my god, yeah.
Wait, all right. Let me look at that again then. I don't remember a fetal gun.
Just the little red scribble on it. It's just like, it's either that or it's like an AirPod, and it's supposed to be symbolizing, oh my god, they've got their AirPods in, they can't hear the Batman's is about to kick the shit out of them.
No, turn around.
Yeah, you're right. It's like a baby gun or like a kidney. I mean, it's like, is it a Gatling gun that they've just made neon for some reason?
I guess so,
well,
yeah.
I looked it up.
Oh.
I did my research, and these guns, I know nothing about guns, by the way. Listeners, you will probably all know this by now. I know nothing about guns. So, I'm gonna give you the info I discovered. These are Olympic Arms OA-93 upper receivers fitted onto an M16A1 lower receiver.
Ooh.
So it's like a combination of two guns sort of fused together because they wanted fully automatic fire.
You know
in the
those
movie, 'cause it
guns
looks
that are
cool.
like double guns, you know?
I'm gonna take this gun and then I'm gonna combine it with another gun.
It is really like, oh, that's how, through a few minor adjustments, you can turn one gun into 5 guns.
I will say that's kind of on brand for Two-Face, though.
Oh, yeah. Actually,
Yeah,
that is
Isn't that
true,
like
yeah.
his whole thing?
Yeah, it is. It's like, I'm so into the double, I'm going to just strap 2 guns together. And it's just like, that's how I roll.
You know what? After writing all these notes, I didn't once think about that, but now you've said it. It's genius. Of course, Two-Face has done that.
Something I always assumed they were just like Tommy guns. Those Tommy guns with like a neon lining. and that
Also good though, given the
Yeah.
actor.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
the neon light strips are powered by 2 9-volt batteries, which I just found hilarious. Thinking like, oh, in this universe they also are. So before they head out, he passes out new batteries in case they run out.
it's like, Face, my gun ran out of battery. Like, oh, god damn it. I won't look as cool when Batman's kicking you around.
Get the spares.
Do we even need them to light up? Surely it's the gun part that's important.
No, you need them to glow. Damn it.
It's aesthetic.
Hey, Batman villains are all about the aesthetic.
That is very fair.
After every police report and stuff, like, they have a little fashion segment where they're just going on about like, oh, well, Two-Face's suit this season is fantastic. And let me tell you, this new gun he's got with the little red neon lining, his crew are working.
It's very fetching, I tell you.
One of the other, like, the Mad Hatters in Arkham going like, oh, that was my idea. God damn it, Two-Face.
Oh, like the villains, like they share things around later as well. Can I have that cape that you used against Batman a couple weeks ago? Yeah, it's fireproof and it lights up on the inside.
Because that's the design on it's so vague. Like, it could be like the Kidney Man.
Who is making all of these? That's my question. Who is the Edna Mode of Gotham?
Yeah.
Does Batman go to her? Is it Alfred?
Oh, imagine if it was the same person who supplies
Right?
Batman, and it's actually a commentary about like the arms industry.
This is like the Last
Oh
Jedi.
my god,
It's just like
that's so cool.
Batman goes to Canto Bites, and he's just like, "Oh my god! Like they're making all the Riddler's suits here as well.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell's going on?"
That
Sounds
would be
awesome.
amazing.
I would watch. Okay, that is a superhero movie that I would be excited about. Which is just like this person who's they're kind of like a supervillain. Like they're pitting the villains and the heroes of Gotham against each other through fashion.
And plot twist, it's Alfred.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, well, where did you think we were getting the money from, sir?
Like it's just like a giant sandbox to him, and he's like, "Well, I had to give them something better, or they wouldn't pay us."
Oh shit!
Conspiracies.
Yeah, I would watch. It's just called Alfred.
Well, there is an Alfred show out.
That would ruin the twist, I suppose. Oh yeah,
We could call it like the seamstress. I was like, "Oh,
Sure.
who's making them?"
what about just the cut?
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah?
Well, speaking of like silly, cheesy tropes and things, we have one here where they open fire at the lift that it appears Batman's not in there. So they open fire, they spray it with bullets, and then there's that long period of silence while they wait to see if they've succeeded. They do that in every goddamn film ever.
Also get that shot of like the bullet riddled elevator doors, and I was just waiting for like Freak on a Leash to kick in. Because I'm that age, so I'm just like seeing that visual in my head. I'm already going like boom, 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 boom.
I was watching a video with the singer of Korn earlier on YouTube, so that's
Ooh.
quite fitting.
Was it a corny video or was it?
Oh.
You know, he gets it every day, every day of his life. That guy. Also, at this point, in talking about like cliches, I guess, in terms of you're saying about that long period of silence, John. Two-Face does utter the phrase "open sesame," which is one of the things. Like I remember people saying it a lot more back in the day. I think it's been kind of phased out now as a cultural
Thank
thing.
God.
Yes. thank
You're
you.
not a fan of Open Sesame, Bryarly? You have...
I understand the point by now. It's not really. It's like a secret phrase that is no longer a secret, and it serves no purpose for me.
I was one of those things I had looked in a little bit. They're like, where is it actually? I know it comes from Alibaba and the 40
Yeah, the
Thieves and
Arabian
stuff.
Nights, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But I looked at it because like I remember when I was a kid, people used to always mix it up into Open Sesame because says me,
Oh,
and
yeah,
all this sort
yeah.
of thing.
Oh, I never caught on to that.
But apparently I looked into it, and apparently it's originally from a French translation of the book by a fellow called Antoine Galland. But it's supposed to be an old Hebrew word for password, apparently. It's Open Simsim. So there you go. That's where that comes from. I'm sure that's what Tommy Lee Jones did his research into that too when he uttered that line.
It's very method, yeah.
No. But the thing is, like, he says that, then the door opens, Batman's been on top of the elevator the whole time, comes down, starts a whole fight, and then Two-Face's just kind of like, just runs away.
May I say one thing that struck me? May I say, what an artistic and deliberate bullet spray.
You think it's a design you would like on your own door? It's
I
like,
was more just thinking, like, the way that they're shooting, you would think that at some point, maybe two bullets would hit the same hole. Like, some of the holes would be bigger than the others, or that there would be, like, more concentrated in one section. But it's, like, a very even distribution with very exact holes.
Well, again, they're all about the aesthetic.
Yeah.
They don't want to ruin the look while they're doing
I just
it.
wanted to take a minute. And also, I kind of thought, like, with the glowing, that it was going to be more impressive than bullets, really. Like, I thought something was going to...
The bullets themselves should also light up.
That's what I'm saying. They can be powered... They'll be powered by teeny tiny batteries instead.
You pop a battery into each bullet before you load it in.
I think they would explode, right? What if they glowed... Wait, it's dark. It's kind of dark. What if they glowed in the dark? Or if they, like, they were activated by the explosion.
This sounds like by the time, like, they were discussing elements like this early on in the movie, and by the time they got to that street gang fight with Robin, they were like, everything glows now. It's like Joel Schumacher, he was just sitting going like, you know what? You guys are right. Everything should be glowing in this film.
I stand corrected. I will do it.
was one of the things though, because we do in fact see the director's credit for one Joel Schumacher popped up here. Finally, we were like, oh, the first minute was only the credits, but the credits have been continuing the entire time. Thankfully, there's been more happening on screen, so we don't have to talk about just them for the first couple of weeks. But it's just, well, I don't know if you recently heard, Bryarly, about Joel Schumacher's like claims that came out in the last couple of months.
I almost definitely haven't.
It's nothing bad. It's just that he's alleged in an interview that he's had sexual intercourse with 200,000 partners in his lifetime.
200,000?
Well, I think he specifically said 100 or 200,000 people.
That's a pretty big gap there, kiddo.
Yeah.
Which
well,
is it?
You lose count after the first 100,000.
He seems to be like, because he's a very soft-spoken man. Like, he's really like, he doesn't seem like he'd be a real Lothario, but it's like, he's standing by, like, yeah, that was just his way back in the day.
Come on.
I don't think there's not even time.
That's the thing, it would be. Like, he would literally have to be having sex while he's shooting the scenes to be doing.
Maybe he was.
I'm going to do some math here. Maybe it was just every night an orgy. Okay, 100,000 divided by 365, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
365 days in a year, so if it was one partner a day, it would take him 274 years.
Well, see, I do have his follow-up quotes when, like, they were kind of obviously when the interviewer was given this answer, he was a bit like, "What?"
It was like, "Hey, have you heard of meth?" Yeah.
But the one thing got me curious though, because it's like, oh yeah, so the guy must have been. I guess maybe that's why he's so relaxed. He seems like such an amiable person. He's just like, yeah, I'm just so laid back and calm about everything. So it's like, I guess he's getting his stress out apparently on 200,000 people. So
God, so tired.
Yeah, you would be. Why would you want to do that? That's
especially don't guys have a refractory period? Like, I literally don't think there's enough time in his life.
And there's other things you want to do. You've got to go make a cup of tea.
It's like maybe he's found a way to do it. Found someone who likes to be scalded. That's who you have sex with when you're making teas. It's like, well, if it drips onto them, then it's fair enough.
That's all part of the fun.
But it's I don't know, for some reason it struck me is because in the director's commentary, he's talking about this fight. He's going on about like the difficulties of the bat suit, and he's going on like, well, it weighed at least 50 pounds, just in the body, and there was another 50 pounds for the head, and then when you were wearing it, the cape and the cowl would be very rigid, so your head would go back and stuff. And it's kind of like, Joel, have you been wearing the bat suit? And now it's like, what have you been wearing the bat suit for? Like, because like, if you've not got a lot of free time beyond directing and banging people, apparently. So it's like, if he's just trying to work the two in together, I want to see some of the behind the scenes footage of Joel Schumacher.
I'm all about combining those two activities. That's fine.
Also, if he was just directing the movie in a bat suit, I'd get behind that too, because I'd be like, I want a bat suit. If he gets to be Batman in it, I want to be Batman while I'm making it. So come on, yeah, get me in the outfit.
I'm wearing one right now. I always do. Do you not?
Tragically, it's difficult to get the headphones on when you've got the cowl and stuff. But I refrain quite a bit. But the other thing is, he does mention though that apparently there were stunt people, but apparently Val Kilmer himself did do quite a lot of this fighting and whatnot. Yeah, after 2 movies of questionable Batman fighting, this is a pretty good fight for Batman. Like, it actually looks like, this looks like an actual fight.
It's a struggle, yeah.
He's actually flipping about. He's doing stuff that's like relatively impressive instead of just like one arm hand flip movements and stuff.
He looks a lot more mobile.
Yes.
Yeah, and they've also brought in a different way of shooting it. It's almost like a precursor to a shaky cam. It's a lot more dynamic with the camera, and it suits the fight. And even if he wasn't more mobile, it would kind of help mask it, I think. Yeah. But it's apparently though, like I think he said he lost like 5 pounds through sweating. Oof. Just doing this fight. Apparently, so. Apparently fighting in the bat suit good for your physique, I guess. So people out there.
That's all. It's like just like people wear ankle weights and stuff. It's just a little more elaborate.
So if you wanted like people going into their office now dressed as Batman, it's like, I'm trying to lose weight. Okay, come on, leave me alone. But Well, at this point, though, because we've not really talked much about... We've alluded to Val Kilmer because he's been in the movie thus far, but who is Val Kilmer? We've not really covered who the guy is.
He's me.
Yes, we've been Val Kilmer this whole time. I'm Val Kilmer. No, I'm Val Kilmer.
They just start popping out of the holes from the bullet, or the bullet holes. I am!
Oh my god, yes.
But apparently born 1959, the son of an aerospace equipment distributor and a real estate developer. So the guy's from a pretty well-to-do family, and he's a Juilliard guy. He's a Juilliard stage fella. Went there, and apparently so acclaimed on stage that he turned down his first screen offer of being in The Outsiders for Francis Ford Coppola because he was like, I'm busy with the stage stuff. Then, weirdly enough, his first on-screen role, or one of his first on-screen roles, was, we mentioned it last season, as an ABC after-school special co-starring Michelle Pfeiffer, which was called, it was all about drink driving. And apparently, within that movie, it's like Val Kilmer, his full name is Valerie Bertinelli Kilmer. No, it's not. It's Valentine Narcisse Kilmer. Valentine Edward Kilmer, apparently.
Okay.
I genuinely thought it was a stage name. I thought his name's going to be like Jim Smith.
It's a great name.
It's a pretty damn cool name.
It's certainly unique having a man called Val.
Yeah. But it's like, it's up there with Bryarly Bishop in terms of memorable actor names.
Shucks. I think people have to actually know me before I can be memorable. gotta get the introduction before I can get the memory.
But the thing is, because Val's a bit of like a full-blown artiste. And apparently after he had a brief relationship with Michelle Pfeiffer while making this one day more. I
remember we had that whole chat about Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, and he then apparently wrote a book of poetry that's insanely rare. Apparently he only made like 2,000 copies, and you can buy secondhand ones for like, they're in the hundreds. Like you could buy them, the bid to buy Val Kilmer's old poetry book, but apparently he has copies of them just lying in his garage. But he's just like that kind of guy who's like, nah, I'm done with that. But he had his brief relationship with Michelle Pfeiffer. She, of course, met her husband, Peter Horton, on that movie. He got her out of that weird breatharian cult and stuff. We talked about all that in the last movie. Yeah. But then he wrote a poem about his affair with her called, not his affair, his relationship with her, called The Pfeiffer Howls at the Moon, which I was desperately trying to track down, but sadly could not. I just wanted to know what they were like, because Val Kilmer, like we'll cover throughout the rest of the season, he's a pretty weird guy. Like he's got a lot of very odd habits and stuff. So his poem about Michelle Pfeiffer, I desperately need to see. I'm pretty sure she probably was just like, I want to forget all about it because Val Kilmer's a nut job. But like, hopefully, if anyone out there has a copy or has any link to the Pfeiffer Howled at the Moon, by all means, like, send it on. That'd be great.
It sounds like a young adult novel series.
The Pfeiffer,
like the Pfeiffer that howled at the moon.
It's like, what is a Pfeiffer though? Because it's like,
I don't know, but it sounds like there could be like 30 books of them, and you'd never get tired of it. The Pfeiffer who chased the sun.
Oh.
The Pfeiffer walked the river.
Ooh.
I can keep going. I'm just saying, this is rich material. If we can figure out what a Pfeiffer is.
Like I know someone who buys lots of bananas, I guess. Like 5 bananas. I don't know.
Oh, come on.
That was the only thing. Pfeiffer. What the hell would that even be? And plus it's spelt with a P.
Well, there's the instrument, the fife.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Could be that.
Yeah. Let's say that would be like the whole book. Every time is just someone walking along playing a fife. That's it. It's like that's how you make 1,000 of them. It's just like it's the same story over and over and over again.
It's Pfeiffers in different situations. Now there's the moon. Now there's the sun.
It's like he's a bit troublesome playing a fife on the moon with the helmet and stuff. But like that's the drama.
Pfeiffer howls at the moon. Is that not?
Yeah. But this one be like the Pfeiffer goes to the moon. I suppose he could play the fife on the ship on the way up.
We're branching out. Howling was just the first step.
Howling was the establishment that he had beef with the moon. Now he's going up to the moon to sort it out.
Oh my gosh.
But then I think like his first big on-screen role was Top Secret, of course, with Michael Goff, who plays Alfred in this movie. And then he went. I think it was like next was Real Genius, and then he's they went through like he had all his big hits then like Willow, Top Gun, because he's Iceman. He's also in '89 in a movie called Kill Me Again, co-starring one Michael Madsen, who if I
Oh God. Sorry, I didn't mean my reaction to be that strong. I worked with Michael Madsen when I first got to LA. He was the villain in a very silly movie that I did that's not good in a variety of ways called Talons.
Oh.
But he is an older gentleman.
He strikes me as a very cranky sort, but like I don't know. You've obviously met him. I don't know anything about the guy really.
Well, I feel the need to be diplomatic, but like I feel like my reaction already gave me away. We didn't get along. We didn't become friends. I didn't spend very much time around him. I didn't really want to. I just found him to like be fairly unpleasant. Like personally, he didn't do anything specific. I just like the things that he said. I don't remember again anything specific. I just remember being like, gonna go walk over here.
Yeah, and I get that vibe. Yeah.
And then like I think I was 23. Or like I don't know, I guess. I'm trying to remember when we even shot this thing. I may have been younger, but or older. I really don't know. So it was me and then this other woman on set who were about the same age, like early 20s. And I guess was being off-putting purposefully. And I had a pixie cut at the time too, which some men are weird about. But like the other girl was this like tall, beautiful blonde woman, and he hit on her constantly.
Oh,
and
no.
I just thought it was kind of gross.
It's also kind of sad and a bit pathetic, isn't it? Don't do
Yeah,
that.
and it was like, this isn't a good movie, and like from the impression that I was given was that he kind of just like does any work.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but like he just does a lot of sort
mental
of not very
note.
good work.
Book Michael Madsen on show.
No,
Apparently you can.
I've always thought that because when he's in something really good, I think he comes across well. He does good. But then he's in so much crap as well.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like in the Tarantino, he's super solid.
That's just one of those things of like, I think it might be the same attitude Chris Walken has of like, I'll be in anything. And if I happen to be in a good movie, hey, that's just the luck of the draw, really.
It's a bonus. Yeah.
It's like, it just happened. They happened to give me a good script this time, but if it had been like a bad script, I still would have done it. So
I really don't know, but we only shot together like a couple days. He was sort of like, because he is expensive, he was sort of the villain from afar, and we were heisting his stuff, so we really didn't interact very often. And it's possible that the days that I was around him, he was going through something. I don't know.
To be fair, like anything I've ever seen of him, he does seem like a kind of grumpy bit of a git and stuff. So
I just don't feel like I can be like, yeah, he's an asshole, even though my limited experience was like, meh, I don't know, it wasn't great.
Yeah, there's always that caveat of, well, but you don't really fully know this person. So.
I don't know him in a real sense.
Yeah, but well, I mean, that was a plug for Talons right there. So Talons available somewhere, I guess.
I guess we put that out in like 2014 or 2015.
Oh. Wait, glowing endorsement from the actress.
It's a movie that I'm in. You can go watch it. Sorry. It's not great. I don't know. I don't know what you want me to say.
Speaking of glowing, though, Niall, the villains here glowing with their guns. So they're getting in this fight with Batman. And Bat gets grabbed from behind by what I can only describe as a giant Bane lookalike.
No, Batman!
So he pulls out a gadget and fires it at the next goon in line, which appears to kind of tase him.
Yeah. In mentioning like the Arkham games earlier, I don't know if you're familiar with the Arkham games, Bryarly, if you played them or not, but like this whole
I haven't, but I'm pretty sure I've watched some gameplay before.
There's a lot of things in this particular fight that reminded me specifically of Arkham City.
Yeah,
because
even though the whole tone is totally different.
Yeah, but it's like, because in that they introduce a little electronic taser thing. The Batman can shoot electricity at it, and it kind of lands on people the same way. And there's a bit where he does a spinning kick, and his cape comes up, and you can do that move as well. And even just the whole, like, hiding on top of the elevator, like, that's a point in one of the big fights. It's like, yeah, you hide on top of the elevator, they're waiting for you, and then you jump down on top of them. So I do wonder if they were just like, you know what, that Batman Forever fight was pretty good. Let's just swipe a couple of things and see.
That makes sense. I mean, I feel like that would be really satisfying as a player.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, it's a great game. Like, everything is just. I know some people get really into it where they're like trying to get as many combos and stuff out of it as they possibly can.
Screw that.
But I'm a real, like, I just like gliding around in my head and being like, I'm Batman, and just been like, I can just do that for hours. I was like, oh, occasionally maybe I'll fight a crook or something, but like as long as I can.
I mean, I definitely just spent the entire time I played the Spider-Man game, like humming the theme to myself for myself.
But I will say though, in terms of like the sound recording here, because when the electricity hits the guy, he's doing like an electrified sound effect. But it sounds like he's doing the thing with like you'd have to have your finger up to your lips to kind of go like. It doesn't sound like genuine. It sounds too cartoony. Like it's too like that's a bit much. Like he could have just had
it's like the jowl shaking sound.
Yeah, it's like he hit Commissioner.
Cartoons.
Maybe if he hit like Commissioner Gordon, because he's got some jowls on him.
Oh my god!
He could have been like. But like. These goons look like they're pretty ripped, so I don't know if they would have the same facial structure as Patting.
No, they're tight.
Yeah, but like I still thought that guy was like, it's a bit much. You could have dialed that back a smidge.
This whole movie's a bit much.
Yes,
yeah. The phrase "dial it back a bit" was never introduced on this set.
No, amp it up.
It works
like,
sometimes.
Can you make it glow more? Can you do that but more? Can you be hammier, please?
Well, just you wait till the next movie, because that's exactly what they did.
Oh, man.
Hey! Perfect. I kind of feel like it's one of those things like it sort of gets worse before it gets better. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're going to be campy, you have to really yank that dial hard. To have it actually be funny. Like the Evil Dead series, I feel is a good example of that. Where like they edge into campy and then they just go whole hog and it's like, yeah!
Oh, that's really like the third movie. It's like, is this I guess it's exactly like this franchise where you're like, is you sure this is a sequel to that other one?
Well,
it doesn't feel
have
like
Evil Dead in the title. The actual title was just Army of Darkness, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's directly continuing on from the end of the second one, though. So you're like,
yeah, but doesn't have to.
But anywho, well, that's the thing. Like, because most of this minute, we always have trouble with like the fighting minutes because it's just like there's a bunch of guys fighting and they're doing some stuff.
Fighting.
Yeah, they're doing some stuff.
You do get another cool Batman gadget. He's got that little what do you call it? The bolo? Is it that he ties the guy up with?
Oh, that like the ankle.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And then he does that spin kick Niall mentioned, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's good. He does that.
Yeah.
Although in the Goldsman draft of the script, I actually prefer how this whole minute plays out because it's more typical Batman. Because much like I suggested, he's not in the elevator there. The SWAT team are. So the SWAT team come up, and then Batman uses that as a distraction to remove the security guard from danger while they're all, looking into the lift there. He gets a cable and lifts him right out of harm's way.
That's very Batman.
Yeah.
But it's also like that SWAT team is dead now. it's like, you send up all your guys. Then when they're dying, I'll sneak around the back, and like you'll have a few less. In a barrel. Yeah, it's like you have a few less SWAT people, but you'll still have one Batman, which is
it's a price worth paying.
That's tantamount to having like 10 SWAT guys is having one Batman, really. But
how many SWAT guys is equal to one Batman? That's what we need to work out.
Is that the riddle for this episode?
That's the riddle. No. This is just a little maths question that I want
Don't forget to write in your answers to Batman Forever.
Well, that is actually like we've started doing this season, Bryarly, as in theme with what's happening. I've started a thing, like it worked the first week. The guest last week got the answer straight away. So the initial plan was to ask a riddle on Monday and then see if they couldn't get it, then on Friday the answer would be revealed. But I do have a riddle to pose to you and John if you want to have a crack at cracking it.
And I'm absolutely awful.
So this one, I will admit, the answer pissed me off. Like, it was one of those ones. It's not just like, oh, the answer is, a door or something. Like, it's one of these ones where like, oh, come on. But a man lives on the 10th floor of a building. He takes the elevator down. I tied them in with the theme, you see, because it's got an elevator in this minute. He gets the elevator all the way to the ground floor. And at the end of the day, every day, he gets the elevator up to the 7th floor and then walks the final 3 flights, except on days when it's raining. Why? Why would he do that?
Oh my God. Because the stairs are outside? I don't know.
No.
Okay, so he lives on... How many floors are there in the building?
Well, he lives on the 10th floor. Then when he's
he lives
coming
on
home...
the 10th floor. He takes the elevator down 7 floors. Sorry, tell me again?
He lives on the 10th floor.
Yeah.
Every day, he goes down to the bottom. He leaves, has his day, and then when he comes home, he gets the elevator to the 7th floor and then walks up to the 10th floor, except for days when it's raining. I do have the picture.
On days when it's raining, he takes the elevator all the way up?
No, yes, on days when it's raining, he gets all the way to the 10th floor in the elevator.
This is impossible.
I have the picture now of people with all like the notes and stuff like lying around, pacing the table, just like,
Is it something to do with his profession?
No. Do you want to mull it over until Friday's episode, where I'll hopefully remember to reveal the answer, or I can just tell you now, and because it annoyed me.
No, tell us. If there's a time. Yeah, there's time. I don't have it quickly, so.
Oh no! I didn't think about it. Like, it's one of those ones. It's like, but apparently the answer is it's because he's a short man and he can't reach the button for the number 10 on the, except when days when it's raining, because he has his umbrella with him and he can.
Why didn't he just bring a stick? So he's a short and a stupid man.
But it was one of those ones when like I read the answer to that, I was like, oh come on, like,
that's ridiculous.
You might as well, you could make up anything. Like, that could be.
He would have to be incredibly short.
That'd be just like, oh, a guy lives on the 10th floor, and
I'm just thinking about the inside of an elevator. Like, the buttons are usually around the height of like your elbow, maybe.
Yes, yeah.
It could be Danny DeVito. You never know. Like, he could be.
I guess so.
And then he would have an umbrella every day though, because he's the Penguin. But tragically, that is not that turned out to be the answer. But I saw it, I was like, oh, you might as well be like, oh, the answer could be like, oh, because he hand glides out of this floor every day or something. It's just, you make up anything to go with.
I was wondering, like, maybe he has an affair, and it's only like when it's raining, she's not in or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
well, that gets him going. He likes the rain.
Maybe like he likes to give himself a tiny workout, but when it rains, his joints hurt, so he doesn't like to take the stairs.
Yeah, I prefer this answer.
Yeah, like in terms of the actual answer to the riddle, your answer is as valid. Like that could have been the answer if you wanted it to be, because it's just like you can make up anything. So I do prefer. I think I'll go back to the riddles where it's like the answer is an umbrella or something, because then it's like an undeniable, like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. Like, when is a door not a door?
Right.
When is a jar? All that kind of stuff. But
hey,
Ooh. On that death note,
yes, we will head off into the dark, dark night. Bryarly, would you like to tell our listeners where they can find you and your work online?
Absolutely. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Bryarly Bishop, or you can go to my website, bryarly.com. I am in a short film, Ubo, which is hopefully going to be out at the spring of next year.
Ooh.
I play a young Jewish woman who has some revenge against the Nazi who killed her family.
Oh,
It's
nice.
my first period piece. I do an English accent with a hint of German.
Oh. Did you take any notes from John while you were recording last year? Like, this is the one I want to go for. Or you could take
No,
notes from
I
his new
actually-
sexy voice and be like, oh, I want to re-record. I want to ADR all my lines now in this new
Ooh.
voice.
And also, if you guys like to play video games, I am voicing a character in Black Desert Online
Ooh.
and in another one. I don't think I can. I forgot its name. But I'm not sure I can say it anyway. But yeah, I am Durat Dumangat in Black Desert Online.
Ooh, that's
cool.
awesome. Hell yeah.
And also that movie with Michael Madsen.
Oh yeah, Talents. That's somewhere. Yep.
Check all that out, everybody. And come and talk to us on Facebook at the Bat Minute Listeners Cave. And check out our Patreon. You can get some lovely bonus content, extra episodes. And before we depart, I am going to do my coin toss to see if Bryarly is allowed to come back or whether we kill her. So it's going to be heads for off with your head, and tails you can survive. Let's see. Tails, you survive. You can come back.
Hey!
That's convenient because to be a pain in the ass to get another guest for the next minute at such short notice.
Hey, we got to do what we got to do. We have to listen to fate. We have to listen to the
Strong
coin.
existential moment there.
Hell yes. So join us again on Wednesday, everybody. We'll all be back for more Bat Minute Forever.
Next time. It's a trap! Everybody's still kung fu fighting, and Bats is shooting lightning, while a duplicitous libertine's luring lariat begins tightening. But while a guard's griping leads a gullible guardian into a ghastly gambit, will a felon fixated on fortune and what's fair finally feign his ferocious foe into a fatal snare? Find out if you dare. Same Bat Pod, different Bat Minute. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.